What's up, YouTube? It's the Console Samurai with Grown Ups Gaming. And after a year and a half or so of debate and speculation and rumors and talking about the Project NX and what it could be and what it won't be and what makes sense, is it actually going to be able to hold its own against PlayStation and Xbox? Yesterday we got our first real look at the Project NX, or what is now actually officially being called the Nintendo Switch. And I will put a link to the reveal trailer in the description down below for anyone who missed it. Granted, Nintendo Switch is kind of a weird name for a console, but when you think about what this one does, it actually makes sense. Nintendo confirmed that it is going to be a handheld home console hybrid. And based on what we saw in the trailer, it looks like it switches pretty seamlessly between the two. So the name does make sense. And actually, I think it's a pretty good name because I think it's something that will stick in people's minds. It's one that people will remember. And it will help them kind of get traction, considering how far behind Nintendo is in the console race. I think it'll help them out a lot. They also confirmed it is going to be cartridge-based, which, as I mentioned in a previous video, I think is actually a pretty good thing. Because I think there's a lot of potential with cartridge. I think it actually could be a really good thing for them. They're doing great with their 3DS, and that's cartridge-based, so I look forward to seeing how this all pans out with this new one. Now, there are a few similarities between it and the Wii U. And I have seen a lot of people calling it the Wii U 2.0 and kind of writing it off already as a failure long before it's come out, which I believe is March of 2017. But there are a few similarities, I will give them that. But I don't think that it's actually accurate to call it the Wii U 2.0. Because while in handheld mode it does look like a Wii U gamepad, it has the same controls on the side, it has a screen in the center, and it does dock into a charging station basically the same way that the Wii U's gamepad does. That really is where the similarities end, because where the gamepad is really just a big tablet controller, this is more of a tablet PC. It looks like a tablet PC or an iPad, and it is the primary controller, or it is the primary console, not controller, excuse me. It's the primary console, and when you dock it into the charging station, it actually turns it into a home console. And the controllers on the side are modular. You'd actually have to watch the trailer if you haven't already seen it to see how modular it is. But unlike the Wii U, it's not restricted to being near the home base. Basically, it is a all-in-one, on-the-go handheld console when it's in this form. It doesn't need the home console portion to function. You can bring it with you wherever you go. And that, I think, is what Nintendo is aiming for. Instead of, they're not trying to be the #1 anymore. I think they've realized that Nintendo or the PlayStation and Xbox have a lock on the console market, and Nintendo is just too far behind to really catch up. So I feel like what they're doing is they're providing a home console as an alternative to PlayStation and Xbox. But what they're really gunning for is when you're walking away, when you're going out, when you're going on a plane, or when you're going to a friend's house, you can't take your PlayStation 4, your Xbox with you. You know, even with all of the stuff that they're doing. But you can grab that Nintendo Switch that's sitting right next to them. You can grab that, and you can play that on the road. You can play it in a plane. You can play that anywhere. It is completely mobile device, and it is, I feel, where they're going. They're not trying to conquer the handheld market. They're trying to conquer they're not trying to conquer the console market. They're trying to conquer the market of when you're not at your console or PC. That's where I feel they're aiming for, and I think it's actually a pretty good idea. Now, there are a few concerns, one of them being battery life. Based on what we saw in the games, they look like they are fairly up-to-date games, and it is a pretty small tablet. It's big enough that you can play on it, but it is somewhat small. It doesn't look like it's going to have a lot of space for any kind of robust battery, so it might be, well, it might have a really weak battery, especially if it's going to be running all the time on Wi-Fi, or I don't think they're going to have any kind of 3G or anything like that. But battery is a concern. Processor power is also a concern. We know that NVIDIA is powering the graphics for the Nintendo Switch, but we don't know what kind of card it's going to be or what kind of processor it's going to be. All we know is that NVIDIA is powering it, and it looks actually pretty good. But I am kind of concerned about the battery life, because that could drain it pretty quick. We also don't know anything about the backwards compatibility, really, because I have heard rumors of backwards compatibility, but there's obviously no optical drive on this trailer, on the actual tablet portion. So there might be an optical drive on the home console part. I didn't see one, but there might be one on there. I have heard, as I said, rumors about backwards compatibility, so it may just be the digital downloads from the Wii U store and possibly the 3DS store, because it does look like they are going to be trying to replace both home console and handheld markets with this one device, which is not a bad idea, rather than splitting an already small market. Kind of converge them. I like that. That's a pretty good idea. The other thing we don't know is we don't know about hard drive space. We don't know about storage. We don't know if it has storage already on it, or if it's just going to have the minimum to run the operating system and any updates it gets, and the rest will be run off cartridge. We don't know if you're going to be able to download anything, although in this day it makes sense that you would be able to. I also don't know what capacity hard drive it's going to be, if it's going to be expandable. There's still a lot of things that we wait to see, but right now, at least I think this has a lot of potential. The Project NX or Nintendo Switch looks like it has a lot of potential. I don't think it's going to be able to take down PlayStation or Xbox, but I think it would be a really good supplement to either of them. And I think that's definitely what Nintendo is going for, and I think that they could succeed in that. But what do you think? What do you think about the Switch or NX, whatever you want to call it? Although I do like NX better. Just putting it out there. Tell me what you think of it. Either way, once again, I am the Console Samurai, and I'll see you around.